Thanks very much, Kira, and thank you to CDP and the World Business Council on Social Development for this very important partnership. And I particularly want to acknowledge CDP's leadership in providing a platform for people to know what is really happening in carbon reduction. Without CDP, that wouldn't be possible. So thank you for all of your ongoing work. And thank you, everyone, for being with us today. C40 is proud to be one of the founding partners of the City Business Climate Alliance and to be a part of the Innovate4Cities conference today. For those of you who don't know, C40 is a global network of almost 100 of the world's greatest cities working to reduce emissions, increase resilience, and improve equity. C40 was founded in 2005 by then Mayor Ken Livingstone of London, England, whose founding idea, and it's still the heart of our work today, is that the actions and the voices of the mayors of the world's leading cities could help the world avoid dangerous climate change. So our overarching goal is to help the world avoid catastrophic climate change, not just our member cities, by delivering resilient and inclusive climate action, which limits global heating to 1.5 degrees, the so-called higher ambition of the Paris Agreement. This means our cities need to collectively deliver their fair share of a 50% reduction in emissions by 2030 and become net zero by 2050. C40's aim, though, is not just for its member cities to demonstrate what meeting science-based climate targets looks like, but to support mayors to form the necessary coalitions for action with partners from business, labor, the youth movement, and civil society. We also seek to inspire others, at least another 1,000 cities beyond our membership, to commit to the same ambition and levels of action. The power of such alliances can influence the narrative around climate change public opinion, shift markets, and shape national policies and international climate talks, ultimately driving further ambition and, most importantly, action. We're already seeing that as the impacts of climate change have begun to deepen social inequalities across the world, cities and businesses are increasingly realizing the importance of climate change adaptation as well as emissions reductions. According to CDP, 399 cities, and we'll get it to 400 by the end of this meeting, I'm sure, now have climate action plans, twice as many as in 2016, and 459 cities have an adaptation plan that identifies and manages climate risks. And that's up from just 30 10 years ago. Meanwhile, 40% of the 400 biggest global corporations have now set an emissions goal and are taking steps to ensure that sustainability is at the heart of their business plans. While many cities and businesses already have ambitious climate action and sustainability plans, C40 research from 2016 showed that one of the main barriers to unlocking climate action in cities was establishing an effective working relationship between the city government and the mayor with the private sector and encouraging the growth of green businesses. It's clear there's an urgent need to harness the momentum on both sides and address the lack of coordinated city business collaboration by building trust between the key city and business stakeholders in cities across the world. City business partnerships have huge potential to reduce emissions on a greater scale than the city or individual businesses could manage alone by maximizing the assets of each actor and implementing the ambitious, coordinated local climate action that is needed to create inclusive, prosperous, and most of all, climate-safe cities. Many cities in the City Business Climate Alliance network are already making great strides to collaborate with businesses on climate action. For example, in Stockholm, the city launched the Stockholm Climate Pact in 2007, a network between the city of Stockholm, businesses, and organizations with the purpose to gather forces and exchange ideas and experiences to help Stockholm reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The group is coordinated by the Vice Mayor, Katarina Löhr, and has 330 business members. The group also recently launched Climate Pact Delivers, a CBCA-supported group including the city and 10 businesses focusing on freight and transport logistics. And by the way, that's a lesson that can spread globally that we can all learn from Stockholm about the importance of freight and transport logistics in reducing climate impact. In Vancouver, the city and the Vancouver Economic Commission have been engaging businesses in the development of their zero-emission transition action plan. In Lisbon, the city has launched Compromiso Verde, a green pact to foster local business climate action. Historically, the City of Toronto partnered with businesses in the development industry and the local gas company and building owners in the commercial sector in downtown to form the Better Buildings Partnership to dramatically reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase energy efficiency from commercial buildings. And that's an example of how city-based climate action and the ideas behind it can spread. The City of Melbourne heard about this initiative, started its own Better Buildings Partnership, and then Sydney copied them as well. Certainly a hope from C40's perspective that we can learn from each other, take the best ideas, and duplicate them globally to ensure that we have rapid climate action. As the C40 Global Mayors COVID Recovery Task Force set out last year, the most immediate test of any leader's commitment to climate action is to ensure that the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic is green and just. Investing in a green and just recovery will also create more good jobs and better protect people's health than attempting to return to business as usual. To achieve this, it's important that cities are engaging with businesses to understand their workers' needs and the type of support they need to recover and boost the local green economy. In San Francisco, Mayor Breed launched a Climate Smart Recovery Initiative to help San Francisco and the local business community leverage their collective leadership and expertise to build back better together. The San Francisco Business Council on Climate Change, BC3, a CBCA fellow, is working with the city to identify climate smart recovery opportunities and to look at the impacts and opportunities of remote working, changing transportation needs, and workforce shifts on the local economy and infrastructure. As we go forward together, building coalitions between cities and businesses will become increasingly important to tackle the climate emergency and ensure a just transition to a greener and fairer economy. Creating green jobs, clean electricity grid, retrofitting buildings, or electrifying vehicle fleets in cities will take a collaborative effort between both public and private partners. It's clear that if replicated at pace and scale, the actions of some of these leading CBCA cities and their business leadership groups can point the way to all of us to creating a more sustainable planet and hopefully get the world on track to have emissions by 2030, which we must if we're going to do what science tells us is necessary. I look forward to the presentations today, and even more importantly, to building ongoing collaborations to ensure we achieve those goals. Kira, thanks so much for the gracious introduction again. I look forward to today's conversation, and I'll pass the floor back to you.
Thank you very much.